This is Reuben Smith, and today I'm not going to be reading from a book. I'm just going to be talking about my view on things, my philosophy. Now, I'm named this video God and Gravity, and I think those are two big mysteries. God is one of the biggest mysteries of the universe. If you're atheist, you've done solved this mystery. That still leaves you with the mystery of gravity and the holy grail of science, the unified field. Now, if we have a unified field, it means all energy is the same. If all energy is the same, there can only be one source for energy. And the source for this energy, I believe, are the stars. Okay, the star is spherical. It's being pushed flat by gravity. Now, if all energy is the same, how could gravity push it flat and still something leave it? If the star is spherical, because if you put a pole anywhere on it that's plumb, that'll be as close to 90 degrees as you can get. That's flat as an object can be pushed by gravity. It's spherical. Okay, energy cannot leave the star in a fluid-like mode because gravity is holding it spherical. I believe the star is basically pure energy. I believe the stars have more electrons than they do protons. I believe the black holes are mostly protons. But if energy leaves these stars, it has to leave with no mass. Therefore, I think the energy leaves the stars in two-dimensional planes. And I believe these two-dimensional planes have rules they follow when they get into free space. To get away from the star, they'll either be at right angles or they'll be parallel to each other because the universe is under pressure, and this pressure is the speed of light. Now, I believe these planes either have to be at right 90 degrees because they're a little off 90. One edge will be close to the other, and they're the same charge. They're trying to get away from each other. So they're at 90 degrees or the parallel. And I think they cut the universe up into cubes. And if we look at string theory states that there are little strings in the universe that are about atom length. They're about the length of an atom, and they vibrate, and they cause two-dimensional membranes. What if the two-dimensional membranes create the strings? What if the strings are the edges of the cubes? The corner of the cubes are photons and electrons. Now here's how gravity works. It leaves the star two-dimensional planes. They form up in space and they form cubes. When they come in contact with matter that has mass, they have to merge. When they merge, they produce more energy in the corners. This energy is electrons now instead of photons, as would be in the corners in free space. Now these electrons take a little energy for it. The planes merge when they come in contact. When they leave the other side of the object, there are less planes leaving than coming in, because coming into an object, approaching an object are not merged. Leaving the object are merged. This indifference in planes makes a difference in pressure, and we call this pressure gravity. Now this ties gravity into light. Light is a wave in these fields of cubes. The photons in the corners vibrate, and they transfer energy. Their energy is derived from the planes. That is how energy is transferred corpuscular, but moves in a wave. A problem that Einstein said that was beyond human reasoning and all rationale with the knowledge that we have at our disposal. But we have a little more knowledge now, a few more numbers to crunch. But this solves string theory. It means the universe is under pressure. But if gravity works like this, this means that gravity is a force of pressure. Therefore, I took this gravity, big G, divided by Newton, multiplied by little g, divided it by C, and I got the Hubble expansion. The math works out perfect. Now, this is the 1-inch formula that a lot of scientists have been looking for. And people say, well, how can you use little g? That just, the speed that something drops, the acceleration due to gravity on the Earth. Well, when these observations for the Hubble expansion were made inside the gravitational field of the Earth. When light leaves an object that has enough mass, the gravity of that object will cause the light to shift to the red. Therefore, if you're on a object that has mass and light is coming toward you, it would have to be shifted a little toward the blue. Then they just, when this Hubble expansion was determined, it was just using the red shift. So therefore I can insert little g. The math works out formula. It proves that gravity is the opposite in equal reaction to the acceleration of the universe. If this is so, then that means that there was no Big Bang, because the Big Bang comes from the theory, from the idea that if everything's expanding, if you go backwards in time far enough, everything would have to be in one point. And the math shows this is not true. So the universe did not come from a Big Bang. There's really only two main views on creation, either intelligent design or the Big Bang. Now the universe, let's look at what happens instead of what happened in the past. Let's look what will happen in the future. If the universe is, after millions of billions, trillions of years, what will happen? The universe is 14 billion years old now. In the far future, if I'm correct, the energy from the stars will run out. Then gravitational field will fail, and all the chemical reactions will fail. When this happens, we're headed toward a singularity. Step of singularity, one point of singularity that covers the whole universe. The whole universe will be the same. It'll have the same density, be the same substance. When this happens, if intelligence survives, if consciousness survives, which consciousness, if you look now at the way we communicate and the way consciousness is headed, if consciousness is headed toward a singularity, which is the idea behind most religions, that we need to become one, that we're all one. If consciousness survives to the end of the universe and it becomes a singularity, then at the end of the universe there can only be one consciousness. And its body will incorporate the whole universe. What happens to anything that is long enough? Any single entity, it will become lonely. And the only way, if your body incorporates the whole universe, the only way to have companionship would be to separate your physical body. Separate your electrons into stars, separate your protons into black holes. And after doing this with this entity, this God be dead? No, this God would be the gravitational field, which gravitational field affects every atom and is perfect away from every object. Well, like I say, I think the universe is of intelligent design. If this video was interesting, maybe you can watch some of others where I read from my book Solutions, which describes the mystery of time and gravity. But I thank y'all for listening, and God bless y'all, and watch my other videos. Goodbye.